Hi, my name is Emma, and I'm an Arcadia Alumni Ambassador. The program I attended was a semester abroad at the University of Edinburgh, as you can see in my sweatshirt. My home school is Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, where I study mass communications. So the reason I chose Arcadia is because not a lot of programs offer a semester abroad in Scotland. A lot of programs that I looked at only offered a couple weeks touring the UK and not just Scotland. So I thought it was a great chance to immerse myself in Scottish culture. So you should go abroad with Arcadia because they do a really unique thing, I think, where a couple days before the semester or your program starts, everybody who's in the program stays in the same hotel and does activities together with the Arcadia leaders who live in Scotland, and you immerse yourself in the culture with people who are going to go through the same thing as you, which I thought was amazing, and it helped me a lot get through the rest of the semester. So one piece of advice I would give somebody going abroad is that you should be prepared for culture shock. It's going to happen. Happens to everybody. It might be a couple weeks into the program that you experience it, or it might be a week before the program ends, which is something that happened to one of my friends. You'll basically just start missing things in the US that you don't have in whatever program you're going to, and it will just kind of hit you. It's not the end of the world. It happens to everybody, and you're going to get through it. So the best study abroad tip or trick I can give you is you need to read up on the culture you're going to immerse yourself in. So for example, in Scotland, a lot of people call you darling or dearie or honey, which is kind of not very common in the US. And it was a little shocking for me when a cashier would go, darling, do you want change back? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, okay, you called me darling. But it's something they do there. And different cultures are going to have different ways of speaking, of greeting people. And it's just best if you read up on it before you go. So one fun fact about my time abroad is, let's see, there was a lot of fun facts. Well, we went on, a couple of the girls I met through the Arcadia program, we went on a international student trip to the Isle of Skye in Scotland. And one of the greatest memories I have is it was pouring down rain, like something almost never happens in the US. It was drenched. We were drenched head to toe. It didn't matter what kind of coat you had on. You were soaked to the bones. But there's this legend in Scotland, especially in the Isle of Skye, that if you stick your face in this freezing cold running river for 7 seconds, you'll have eternal beauty. And that was just something that some of us did. So a couple of our friends, we decided to do it, and we got it on video. And it's just, you'll experience that a lot in the cultures you go into, that there's a lot of stories that they like to tell, especially in Scotland. They're very much into fairy tales there. And there's a lot of legends that you kind of find yourself immersing in, like we did with the whole sticking your face in freezing cold water. So that was a great time. That's one of the best memories I have. It's a little weird, but it's great. It's Scotland weird. So a unique highlight from my location is Edinburgh, Scotland is the most haunted city in the world. I did not know that before I went there, but Edinburgh is basically a city built on top of a city. And if you read up on it, you'll discover why it's the most haunted city in the world, and it will make perfect sense. So my favorite place abroad, I love Scotland. It was amazing. But we also went to Rome. A couple of the girls that I met who are now my best friends, we went to Rome for a couple days. And there is this cat sanctuary there that is built out of old Roman ruins. And you go down there and you can immerse yourself with the cats. You play with them. They're just a bunch of like homeless cats roaming the street of Rome that come there for food, for shelter. And it was just an amazing place because it used to be an old Roman forum, and now there's just cats playing there, laying there. I mean, it's something you wouldn't think at all, especially in the U.S. doesn't have anything like that. But you go abroad and there is something like that. Another favorite place of mine, in Scotland particularly, was there's this little pub a couple blocks from the dormitory me and my friend stayed at, and it was a pub where all these like old Scottish men would go to drink beer and whiskey, and that ended up being our hangout place. And it was amazing because every time there was a soccer or rugby game on, all the old men would be there cheering on, and they loved talking to us because we are a couple American girls in Scotland, and it was a great place. So I'm also going to talk about being abroad for the first time. I have had the opportunity to go abroad in Latin America, but that was for like a week, and I didn't actually fully immerse myself in the culture there. But I count Scotland as really my first time abroad, and it is scary. I live with high anxiety, panic attacks, so it was quite the experience for me. But you kind of have to realize that it's gonna be okay, that you're doing this for whatever reason you're doing this, and you just kind of have to keep reminding yourself of that reason, and that you're gonna prove to yourself and maybe to others around you that you can do this. And just also know that once you're done being abroad, you'll want to go back. It's an amazing experience. It will last with you for the rest of your life. And no matter what happens abroad, you'll always remember it as one of the best times in your life. So the last question I'm going to answer is how I feel my time abroad will help me with my future plans. So studying abroad opened up a whole new set of how I look at the world, especially through different views. So Scotland, when I was going there, the UK had just left the EU, and there was a huge divide between Scotland and England, and people who wanted to leave the EU and people who didn't. And it was just very eye-opening to see how America's not the only one with a lot of problems. There are other cultures who are living with a lot of problems. There are people who are going to agree with others, who disagree with others. And I think it just helped me realize that it doesn't matter what our views are, particularly what matters is that at the end of the day, we all are human beings, and that we all live with the same fears, and we all have problems in our home countries that sometimes are scary, but it's something we all need to get through. I think it's going to help me in the future because it's a unique view that you can tell potential job people, potential career-oriented people that, yes, I spent a time abroad in a country that was going through leaving the EU and experiencing the worries of the Scottish people about what leaving the EU would be, and if Scotland itself should break off from England and become its own independent country. It gives you a chance to have a little something other applicants in future job endeavors might not have, and it gives you a step above the rest. Thanks for listening to me. I hope you guys choose Arcadia. It's a great program, and studying abroad will change your life. Thank you.